Hello, I'm going to try to make this a quick response to Ron DeSantis' response about the book hoax. I had previously requested that he would show the tickets on what he said there were inappropriate books to be in the media centers, in the libraries, in high schools, middle schools, and I won't go into elementary schools because those claims are just ridiculous. There are no pornographic books in elementary schools, period. Okay? The schools where he mentions that he found these so-called pornographic books are either in high schools or middle schools. So we're going to address that. Actually, some of these books might actually benefit from being in elementary schools in the fifth grade. Now, these books show the human body and reality. Now, let us understand first, because context is very important. Do kids go to these books for actual reference? That's the intention of the books. The intention of the books is for children that have these particular situations to have somewhere where they can have a reference. Why? Number one, the reality. Parents, most of them do not have the time, and some of them do not have the education to be able to help and coach their children through a lot of these things. And mostly is time. DeSantis and all these capitalist groups have created an environment so horrible for parents where they have to spend most of their time working 2 and 3 jobs just to maintain their one family with 1 or 2, maybe if they're lucky, 3 kids. So they do not have the time to look for the resources that are out there to help them coach their kids or to help them understand these new problems, these new situations that kids are facing. And then in reality, they're not new situations. They are old situations with new understandings. And DeSantis turning around and throwing these books away is horrible because many of these kids, that's the only resource they may have in order to understand themselves. See, DeSantis doesn't want to acknowledge that capitalism in many ways has destroyed the American family. And so, kids are left on their own. Kids with lower income, middle and lower income families are left to their own devices. Now, in the internet, what do they find? They can find in YouTube places where they'll get actual understanding just like they do from these books. Or they'll find plain old porn sites. Now, I would rather the kids have access to these books that explain to them these situations that they're going through. And I'm going to tell you something that I know DeSantis doesn't like to, and all these Moms for Liberty religious groups, they don't like to address it because that's the way they operate. Children, kids, when they're at least from 9 years old, sometimes even younger, should understand a lot more things about sex and the reality of it than what these Christian groups would like them to have. Because they imagine that if the kid is not given an understanding about it, he won't be a victim of it. But they don't understand that sexual victimization happens in all places. And the best defense that your kid has against it is not just, don't touch it, Johnny. Don't look at it, Johnny. No. No. The best defense that a child has is understanding what he has, what he feels, why he feels the way he feels, okay? And what he can and should be able to do about it. Like this, and really it blows my mind, Christian ideology about, oh, well, you shouldn't masturbate. Well, guess what? Everybody does it. It is a human situation. There are few people that don't do it, and that's because they have some physiological difference, which is okay. But see, even that is okay to understand. That, hey, you know what? You have a difference and it's okay. But instead, children are taught to hide. Go into hiding, go into your closet, deal with your feelings in your dark recesses of your own mind. Because guess what? Your parents will tell you. And I have seen this throughout many, many years, since 1970s. Oh, well, you shouldn't feel like this. But he does. And he can't help it. It's not something that Johnny just decided, hey, I'm going to start feeling like this. No. But see, these parents are not well prepared. Why? Because they are all the time working and being fed ideas from the conservative right about, oh, well, see, if your kid doesn't hear about pot, he won't be on the 80% of the kids in high school that try pot. Well, guess what? Number one, the 80% number, I find it to be an exaggeration. Most of the kids will lie, like they lie about sex. Everybody claims that they have sex before they leave high school. Most of them do not. Let's say 50-50. Okay, we're going to give them some credit. But not all kids have sex during high school. Okay, nor 80%. And that number also is a fallacy when it comes to trying pot. Okay, some of them, a lot of them, yes. 80% is like almost all of them. No, that's not true. Okay, but that is a number that the right, the Christian extreme right, pushes onto parents so that they'll be afraid, and they will tell their children, don't touch this, don't touch that. Everything is prohibitive. As long as the kid doesn't see it, they think that the kid will be safe from it. Well, on the contrary, once the kid sees the thing, understands the thing, understands the limits, they're in a better position to defend themselves against it. I mean, look, I grew in a border town, El Paso, Juarez. So many kids, so many of my friends got raped, molested, hurt in many ways because they didn't understand what was going on. Okay, an older man, be it a priest, politician, friend of the family, would bring the kid into the room, make him touch him by telling him, hey, this is normal, it's okay, because the kid had no prior knowledge. He got molested. He got touched. He had to touch a grown man. Okay, so all of these things are horrible, but these are things that, hey, those of us that knew about those things didn't get touched, didn't get bothered, because as soon as we saw these things, we recognized them and we moved away from them. Also, when kids are able to understand their own feelings, hey, I masturbate, okay, not a big deal. It happens. The priest may not like it, but that's his life. My life is different. And I'm not offending anybody. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm just doing what comes normal to a teenager. I don't have to feel guilty about it. I don't have to feel bad about it, which brings down the child's self-esteem. See, DeSantis is getting into a terrain of child development of which he knows nothing about. So these books that he has condemned, I would put it to professionals of child development and see if they would condemn those. Thank you. I think that I overstayed my welcome. I hope that you take a good look and think about this video. I'm not just whistling Dixie here. Have a good day.